Content on CajunClassicCarsTV.com is brought to you by Mercury Auction. Sell a car or buy your dream car at the spring or fall auction of Mercury Auction. And Goodwood Hardware and Outdoors at 7539 Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. And our newest sponsor, Cajun Hot Rodding Collision at 410 Joseph Street in Baldwin. Custom paint and body, restorations, and insurance company claims. Welcome to Cajun Hot Rodding Collision to the Cajun Classic Cars TV family. And now it's time for a Cajun Classic Cars TV spelling lesson. Pronounce this word.
Lecompte?
No, sorry, try again.
Lecompte.
No, but if you said Lecompte, you'd be correct. There's a Cajun Classic Cars TV spelling lesson. Lecompte, Louisiana is situated along the banks of Bayou Buff in central Louisiana, right off Highway 71 connecting Baton Rouge and Shreveport. The town of Lecompte was named after a famous racehorse owned by the Wells family who lived in a plantation south of the town. The name was originally spelled Lecompte, but when the railroad came in, they accidentally added a P at the train depot sign, and the town has remained Lecompte with a P. A silent one, of course, because it technically never should have existed. And Lecompte calls itself the Pie Capitol of Louisiana due to the long-serving restaurant Lee's. And that's where we met Kenneth and ended up finding this rare 1950s Mercury. We're ready to talk about it on Cajun Classic Cars TV. Welcome to Cajun Classic Cars TV, where your cars are the stars, and we're in Lecompte, Louisiana. We'll tell you where that is in a little bit. And we've got Kenneth. Tell us what car we're going to look at today, sir.
1950 Mercury V8 flathead. Oh, yeah.
1950 Mercury coming up here on Cajun Classic Cars TV. Brought to you by Goodwood Hardware and Outdoor in Baton Rouge. Mercury Auction, where you could buy a new dream car or sell yours right now. Legacy Classic Insurance, and one of our newer sponsors, Cajun Hot Rodding Collision in Baldwin.
Your cars are the stars. Cajun Classic Cars TV.
People everywhere, by the thousands, more people than ever before, today are buying Mercury. Yes, everywhere, every day, more and more people are driving this car and buying this car, the 1950 Mercury, and with good reason. For Mercury has demonstrated that it's today's outstanding automobile value, the car that can take it across grinding desert sands and up grueling mountain slopes, and still come out all-time sweepstakes winner in the famous Mobile Gas Grand Canyon Economy Run, America's #1 economy car, Mercury. Mercury, the car that set the pace in this year's Indianapolis Speedway race. It's out ahead of all the rest, out ahead for steady reserves of power. Out ahead for easy driving roadability. Out ahead of the rest for riding comfort. Ahead in all the things that mean a wonderful ride and a wonderful car. Mercury.
Kenneth, before we talk about this classic ride, what got you into your love of automobiles?
I think I was about 16 years old and went to my first drag race, and I've been hooked ever since. And I love high-performance vehicles. I've had maybe 20 cars so far. And this Mercury here, I've been had for 2.5 years now.
What made you decide to get this Mercury? Did you like Mercuries in general? You saw it, you said, I think I could do something with that, or what?
Sylvester Stallone made a movie called Cobra. That was my first introduction to Mercuries, and ever since then I've been looking for one.
And you saw this one where?
Actually, it was in Minnesota at Unique Classic Cars, and I bought several cars from them. And he called me and said, Ken, I got something you might be interested in. I said, well, send me some pictures. And he sent me the pictures. I told him to send it home. Like I said, it's been about 2 years now, and so many people have been wanting to buy it from me. It's hard to hang on to it.
Isn't that something? And of course, we always we have this whole thing in the classic car world where no, we're not going to sell it. We're not going to sell it. All of a sudden, either the right price comes along or the right car you want to buy and trade up to.
Yes, that's correct. That is correct.
And when that happens, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Now, speaking of that, though, is there a car in your life over the 20 that you've had that you regret selling?
A Brooklyn, 74 Brooklyn. Loved it to death. I've had 2 so far.
So the Bricklands were a unique story, and we'll share a little backstory on the Bricklands. But the Bricklands were along the line of like the Bradley GTs a little bit, the Kelmarks, and things like that. But the Brickland story is a little bit odd just because of the story of the owner and the story of the money and where the money went and all that.
That is correct. That is correct. But the car was so unique, it was ahead of its time. You know, we're talking about 1974 with gull wing doors. I mean, actually, people thought I was 20-some years old. People thought I was rich at the time, you know. But the car was only like $20,000 when I got it. Everything in the car was like it was a 354 Cleveland, and everything else besides the hydraulic system, you can go to the auto parts and get.
So it was easy to get. It wasn't like you couldn't find parts or whatever.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Kenneth, when we were planning to come take a look at your 50 Mercury, you were telling me it has kind of a unique background. Share that story.
Yeah, a gentleman out of Vegas commissioned this car company in Minnesota to build him 3 cars, 2 Mercurys and a Volkswagen, and it was Classic Car Plus. And according to this guy, he wanted a 1950 Mercury just like he had in high school. No high performance stuff, flathead V8, and he just wanted all the new amenities, power steering, cruise control, and things like that, disc brakes. But the way the engine was set up, you can only get 55 miles an hour out of it because in 1950, the speed limit on the major highways was 55 miles an hour. But he wanted it exactly the way it was, and apparently he had a lot of, funds to play with because he built 2 of them. Normally when I purchase a car, I purchase it to take the flathead out and drop a 427, something like that in it. But when I found out, talking with the builder, everything he went to build this car, he said, Mr. Martin, he said, it's your car, but I wouldn't touch it. And as you can see, it's just the way he had it. And it's probably, over 20-some years built,
So it's been that long since you've got it. So this, built 20 years ago, and you got it a couple of years ago.
Yes. He had it built 02 to 04 when they started to build, and it came available 2 years ago.
Now, did I understand you right in our emailing back and forth or messaging back and forth that the builder of this kind of has a connection with some other unique cars?
Oh man, he's been building cars for years. Like I say, for instance, Unique Classic Cars is people I deal with in Minnesota, so I didn't even know of this person. The guy in Vegas that had these, commissioned these cars to be built, he found the guy, and Unique Classic Car purchased it somehow through an auction, and they called me and told me about it. This is a PPG paint, and it's called Black Sapphire Metallic. It's a beautiful color, and it almost, when I seen the car, I thought the car was black when I first seen it, but it's actually a dark blue, so it depends on the sunlight and things like that, the reflection, and then they got a lot of pearl in the paint also. And then, you got drop spindles on the rear end. It's a Mustang rear end on it. Everything else from the engine back is all stock. It's, so like I say, the guy built a cruiser is what he was looking for, something back from the 1950s. And I elected to leave the car just the way it is. And if I sell it, it will be, for someone else to, what they want to do with the car. But right now, the car is, as you can see, immaculate condition for, to be built in 2002 to 2004 timeframe. Upholstery have held up very well. Carpet and everything. Midnight blue carpet on the inside. It has the Bluetooth speakers and everything in the car. It has air conditioned heating, vintage air, custom floor mats, 3-speed transmission.
I like the spotlights, kind of like it reminds me of like an old police cruiser kind of look.
Yes, and if you think about it, back in the days, in the 50s, they had these spotlights because the headlights wasn't that good, and also, we didn't have streetlights. And so when you go looking for an address, you turn your spotlight, towards that. So they served this purpose back then, and they become a nostalgia, period. And you try to, put things back on the car for that period, and it's a good taste for it.
Warning to all hunters: this is not to spotlight deer.
No. No.
Well, speaking of lights, looks like you've when everything was put back together, they decided to go LEDs on this.
Yeah, they updated them, and but as you can tell, they still put the blue dot in the new sequence. That was a taste back then, and also on the real lights, you had a purple light on it. So they did a good job, and the builders today, they can find, things that look antique, but they have a modern taste to it, to give you a better, view in the evening time and driving,
Those are some impressive hubcaps. They seem to just fit the period. They're kind of newish, but also seem to me kind of fit that retro look, Kenneth.
Yeah, and they're very, like you're saying, very unique. And back then, I was talking to some younger guys. We only had hood caps and maybe 2 or 3 different rims back in my days. And these hood caps here, man, they shine up very well, and with the period of the car. And the same ones are on the back, but the skirts and the drop, how they got it laid out really hides them. But, easy to take care of, maintenance and things like that, But it's good, yeah.
So, Kenneth, it looks like we are ready for the drive-in picture show, my friend.
It reminds me of my youth, going to the drive-in, and the hamburgers and Cokes and everything back in those days was so good. And I was at a car show, and someone had a setup like this. And I went online and was able to find all the foods and the trays and the old speakers from the drive-in, And actually, I'm going to turn these into Bluetooth speakers just a matter of time.
I was actually going to say that I've got one at home that I've already converted mine.
Wow, well, I need to talk to you then. Yes. Let's look under the hood and show you this beautiful flathead V8. And as you can see, the heads and everything on them are period correct. The Oppenheimer heads, flat heads, what you're looking for. Now, they did convert it from a 6-volt to a 12-volt system when they put this system together. And as you can notice, the flathead, what most people that's not familiar with flatheads, they don't realize each side has its own water pump, And she purrs like a sewing machine. It is amazing what they have done to tune this engine. She is, and plus adding air conditioning, which they didn't have air conditioning, in those days, but, they were able to add the air, power steering, and everything, and still get the performance that a 1950 car would have, you know.
If you wouldn't mind, let's pop the trunk and...
The battery and everything was situated back here, but when I seen the Hero Mercury, it had a tie cover on there, and I had to have that, so he built it for me, you know, upholstery guy. And the Barrett brothers built that Hero Mercury, and they had set it in there like that. I love it. Yes. Let's head inside. Okay, let's hear it run right quick. Just like clockwork.
That's got to be one of the smoothest starts I've heard on most any of my episodes.
Yeah, that's it. For a flathead V8 with all the amenities that he put on it, air conditioning, power steering, and everything, the tuning is so important when you start adding things that wasn't available back in the 1950s to it. But the guy was a genius. You know?
Rev her up. And if you had $1 for every look and thumbs up, you'd be able to afford another car almost.
Man, goodness gracious. I never can. If I take it out, I can't. If I'm going somewhere, I can't get there on time because I love talking about it. And, you know, people wants to know. And so it's exciting. It really is. Something I've always loved. And it's a very expensive hobby. But I'm prepared, you know, in retirement to be able to enjoy my hobbies and things that I love. And cars, that's it. But you know, it's so funny. I took it to Houston. A friend of mine seen it for the first time. I had it on the car hauler, and he was coming out his garage, and I had a broom sweeping the road, and he said, "Man, what are you doing?" I said, "Man, I can't put my baby on this dirty road," and backed it out. But she's a lot of fun. She really is. Yeah, it's so smooth, man.
She is definitely impressive, my friend.
It has that long throw shifter. Go to second gear. Third gear. Smooth as apple pie. You got to be ready to pull the trigger. And I try to keep it, you know, money for that particular reason, because you never know when they come available. Matter of fact, at Unique Classic Cars right now, they got a super bird up there, $225,000. I can't afford it, but if I can get rid of this one, I will definitely try to get it.
Kenneth, thank you so much for spending your Ash Wednesday with us, my friend, showing off your beautiful gem of a car, a 50 Mercury.
Thank you very much, sir.
Check out all of our great sponsors because they help bring this show to you. Plus, you can also help and support and get some great merchandise from Cajun Classic Cars TV as well. We'll put the details right here. All right, so check that out. And thanks for watching. Check out all of our content, like and subscribe, and check out the next episode at CajunClassicCarsTV.com.